course. It's also clear now.
Welcome and brace yourselves. As you can see, I given up my past life as a video gamer and decided to follow my true calling. The stars. Oh wait, that's an airplane. So I brought my trusty telescope out of retirement and patched it up myself to see if life does exist in space. Let's find out. NASA!
Super Mario Galaxy, the game that answered one of life's greatest questions. Do giant bees exist? I knew it. Regarded as one of the best games of all time by literally everybody, how on earth did I miss it? Oh yeah, I was playing the critically acclaimed sequel that exists, Nintendo. Like I said, I grew up as a Galaxy 2 guy. No story, just the levels, my bread and butter. So I've never actually experienced the original Mario Galaxy before. Sometimes I was able to play at a friend's house. Until the game crashed, I never got past the first level. It wasn't until 3D All-Stars was announced, with Mario Galaxy included, was I finally able to play it. Sure, this collection was one of the laziest things Nintendo's ever done, but has sunshine and widescreen. I'm a sucker, alright. And wow, Galaxy looks insanely good, even for a decade-old game. The fact you can play it anywhere without motion controls makes this probably the definitive way to play Mario Galaxy. Legally. Until March 31st, okay Nintendo. But I've gone on for long enough, so strap yourselves in and aim for the stars. Let's begin Super Mario Galaxy. Galaxy opens with the Star Festival, an event held every 100 years when a special comet comes by and releases star bits. You know, the little crystals you collect throughout the game and abuse toads with. Also, they somehow taste like honey, and yes, I will put one in my mouth the first chance I get. But now that the festival is underway, nothing could possibly go wrong. Yeah, that checks out. Bowser is back to kidnap Peach. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it's definitely more dramatic this time around. I mean, Bowser summons lightning from his hands. I didn't know he could do that.
NASA, you gotta believe me. Bowser's attacking the Mushroom Kingdom right now. What do you mean Bowser isn't real? He's the president of Nintendo of America. I was a stupid diehard Nintendo fanboy. You can't fool me.
Bowser takes the entirety of Peach's castle into orbit. Gotta give the man props. He put some effort into this. Although Mario is still alive after a botched attempt of a rescue and wakes up on a small planet where we find our first extraterrestrial species, the Lumas. They remind me of Kirby. Small stature, come in multiple colors, large appetite. The only difference is they suck at hide and go seek. You get caught and you rout your buddies. I hardly call these guys warriors. This is where we're introduced to Mario Galaxy's newest mechanic, gravity. Sir Isaac Newton would be proud. Yes, you can travel across or between planets. Pretty revolutionary if Sonic Adventure 2 didn't do it first. But just because Sonic Adventure 2 did it first, doesn't mean it did it well. Here, the mechanic is way more refined and way more utilized than just one level mad space. It does take a while to get used to and can be a bit disorienting. I swear I've ran in circles more times than I can count, but it's such an interesting experience unique to this game and its sequel. Following that, we are introduced to their mother, Rosalina, a brand new character who is also a human? Okay, we're just gonna go along with this. And hey, at least she has some backstory. Completely optional backstory, but still there. She's a princess space goddess whose ship, the Comet Observatory, had its power source stolen by Bowser. Somehow. Oh yeah, because all the people there are freaking babies! Like, how do you even trust these guys in the kitchen? That thing will go up in flames in minutes. Jeez. For that reason, she tasks you with collecting enough power stars to restore her ship and save your special one. And in her ever-divine power of the cosmos, she grants Mario the power of motion sickness. Okay. By either shaking the remote or tapping the Y button like any sane person, Mario can perform a spin attack on the ground or in the air that can also activate the ever so powerful launch star. It's quite the nice tool to have since you can redirect yourself in midair if you made a mistake or gain extra height if you're skilled enough. Though, the cooldown time does get on my nerves. You just gotta watch for that Luna to go back into Mario first. Like, just get back into Mario. With that out of the way, we are launched into the first level. This is Mario Galaxy. Why am I going in a straight line? Just like the console it debuted on, the Wii, Mario Galaxy was designed to be played by everybody, no matter the skill level. So that's why, compared to every 3D Mario game before, Galaxy is linear. You're going one way and one way only, and that's not a bad thing. To make a case for linearity, since you are going on a straight line from start to finish, elements like progression and level design can be more meticulously planned because the developer knows exactly where you're going to go. It helps ease in new players with the game's mechanics, and Gateway Galaxy is a great example. It effortlessly goes into gameplay and teaches you the basics of the game, and not like you can get lost or anything. You're on a circle, ending with the reward of a grand star. So satisfying. Although, Galaxy's not that hard, at least not until the very end, like the very end. But the challenge given throughout I think is good enough to keep anybody interested. In conclusion, linearity isn't a bad thing. It's just different, and that's okay. Darn it, Mario is slow. Much slower than he was before. Like Mario, the princess has been captured for the billionth time. Now on a cosmic scale, could you maybe do something more than a light jog? A little stroll, a bit more roll, okay? Not to mention, a lot of Mario's movement options are just gone. There's no dive, there's no kick. It's just really the long jump now. Though the levels were clearly more designed for this speed, so it's not a major issue. For now. And that concludes my criticisms towards the gameplay because they did it. Mario Galaxy controls so well for what it's trying to do. Everything feels precise and exploding with creativity. It is a spectacle to watch, making the whole experience worth it. Oh, and I can't forget about the power-ups. Traditional power-ups make a return, and Galaxy introduces 5 new ones. Sure, returning power-ups like the Fire Flower have a timer now. I didn't know Nintendo likes to play hot potato, yet here we are. The new power-ups introduced more than make up for it. Be Mario, someone at Nintendo had this on their resume. Seriously though, I went from ironically to unironically loving this power-up. It's everything I could have asked for. It lets you fly for a bit, stick to honey, be Luigi. However, you can't long jump anymore and getting wet ruins all the fun. Boo Mario's an interesting one. Despite being allergic to any type of light, you can phase through walls and then you're turned into a Boo. What's more to ask for? How about a Fire Flower counterpart in the Ice Flower, which allows Mario to skate on water and lava while creating ice platforms. I wish these things weren't temporary. What on earth did they do to him? Nintendo effectively turned Mario into the first human Slinky, and people hate this thing. Eventually I got used to it, and I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, though it's still not great, so moving on. Finally, the Red Star. This is disappointing. On paper, the Red Star sounds awesome. A power-up that lets you fly without any skill? Sign me up. In practice, it only appears in one level, and flying around planets isn't as cool with a locked camera, so the only use it has is flying around the observatory. Come on! Overall, I like the new power-ups, though the Spring Mushroom, Red Star, and Fire Flower leave a lot to be desired. And I completely forgot about the Superstar. Now the galaxies you use them in, they're freaking fantastic! They are just gorgeous to look at, a true testament to how powerful the Wii really was. Variety is key here, and plays to the strengths of Mario Galaxy's linear design. Introducing a new idea, then expanding upon it throughout the level, and if you don't like one, it's over in less than 5 minutes, you can move on with your life. Personal favorites are Beach Ball Galaxy, just a feel-good kind of stage, gets me in the right mood. Toy Time Galaxy is super appealing from a visual standpoint, Dreadnought Galaxy is super intimidating, and Melty Molten Galaxy is Melty Molten Galaxy, it's perfect. I'm not as attached to these as I am to other levels in Mario games like RICCO Harbor or Bob-omb Battlefield because I don't spend as much time in these levels since they're mostly one and dones. But when they're done well. You'd think since Mario is in space, Nintendo would introduce new otherworldly species to the Mario universe. And you're right, I've never seen a penguin like this before. It looks like Nintendo's creative juices just dried out when it came to the NPCs. They just reused the penguin from Mario 64 and gave it a population boost. The robots are a cool idea, I like their designs, they're just not fleshed out enough to make me care about them. And sentient bees. Sure, a giant bee queen, Nintendo approved this.
Okay. How about this? giant bees. NASA? Come on!
Mario Galaxy is also the first game in the series to use a full orchestra for its soundtrack. 28 songs in total are orchestrated, and they are bliss. From the booming sounds of Good Egg Galaxy, Gusty Garden Galaxy, and the Bowser levels, to the more serene and melancholy Space Junk Galaxy. The orchestrated tracks makes these levels feel alive, giving them a sense of scope and grandeur, which is perfect for the theme of this game. But between those we have the non-orchestrated music. Honey Hive Galaxy and Beach Bowl Galaxy, much more cheerful, traditional tracks compared to the others, and I love them. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to go say sorry to Delfino Plaza because the Comet Observatory track is really good. When you first hear it, it's simple, but as you get more and more of those grand stars, the track grows with more instruments, building to possibly my favorite hub world track in all of Mario, no matter how much nostalgia I have for Galaxy 2 and Sunshine. During development, Galaxy had much more cutesy music until the Master Mario Maestro, Koji Kondo, came in, slapped Yokota across the face and said, "Mario isn't cute, Mario is cool." And that perfectly describes the soundtrack because it's so cool. You know what, since I've got nothing better to do, I might as well complete Mario Galaxy 100%, aka gather all 120 power stars. This should be fun. Of course, there are 3 hidden green stars to watch out for that unlock probably the hardest levels in the game. Yep, the hardest levels in the game, and they all have... Otherwise, I'll just have to travel back through every galaxy until I collect all of them. Wait, where are those? These are prankster comets, also known as the bane of my existence. They occasionally appear over galaxies and can be controlled by this Luma. To move them, you just gotta feed them 20 star bits. I feel like I'm being taxed for star bits here. There are 5 types of comets in total. Cosmic, Daredevil, Fast Foe, Speedy, and Purple Coins. We'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that. Cosmic creates an evil clone of Mario to race against. Daredevil is a one-way ticket to death's door if you dare hurt Mario. Fast Foe makes the levels and its enemies fast, and Speedy is just a speedrun of the level. Throughout my experience, Mario Galaxy has been quite good with presenting new obstacles and ways to play the game, making the task of getting 120 stars fun. Until we get to the purple coins. This was my breaking point. Every tiny issue I had with the gameplay, being the slow pace Mario runs at, is made even worse. The linear level design worked because there was one main goal that wasn't about collecting or wasting the player's time to explore the levels in a game that wasn't really about sandbox exploration. These comets takes those levels and makes you grab 100 purple coins. At best, these are nice little time trials that don't waste your time. At their worst, I have never been so bored in a Mario game. If this was Sunshine, it probably would have been fine since movement in that game is fast, slick, and fun. Galaxy takes that word and throws it into the sun. Beach Bowl, Freeze Flame, Honey Hive, and Dusty Dune Galaxy just weren't designed with this idea in mind. And if you die, so help you, you'll have to start all over again. The only thing you get for gathering all 120 power stars is a slightly different ending that tells us what happened to Rosalina. They just head back into space, whoop-de-doo. Oh wait, Luma was left behind, oh poor guy. In fact, I haven't talked about Rosalina's backstory at all, since it's... Might as well find out what happened. The heck was that? So Rosalina and a lost Luma went into space to find its mother. But wait, that Luma looks like the exact same one that was left behind. Does that mean everything loops in on itself? Is Rosalina from the future? Is that Comet Observatory a time machine? Koizumi, what have you done? I don't think I'm ready for more story elements in mainline Mario. Where was I? Oh yeah, 120 power stars. The only thing you get is a slightly different ending and... Luigi? Never mind, it's all been worth it! This is the greatest day of my life! And if you collect 120 stars again with Luigi, you can access the Star Festival area of the game. That is not worth it. Thankfully, only 60 stars are necessary to restore the Comet Observatory to full power. And with that, to the center of the universe we go. Full power and engage. It's weird, I'm feeling pumped in the most ambitious way possible in a Mario game. Time to take down Bowser. The final level, Bowser's Galaxy Reactor. The sense of grandeur is off the charts as you make your way to the final boss. With unique puzzles using gravity beams and more platforming challenges, Bowser is no pushover, especially in the final fight. Bar none, my favorite Bowser fight so far, taking the previous and expanding upon them, all contained in the heart of a burning star. You know what they say, all's well that ends well, as Bowser is defeated and his empire crumbles before him. Mario and Peach are flying across space back to the Comet Observatory, and there's a black hole. A big one.
Dang it! Holy NASA, listen to me! I'll never get to see Metroid Prime 4 come out.
Wait, all the Lumas are sacrificing themselves to save everybody? What is this? Emotion? Finally, Rosalina appears before Mario, strangely bigger, and gives one final speech. The cycle repeats itself, but not quite the same. Then Mario wakes up in a brand new galaxy formed by all the past ones before and yells at the top of his lungs,
Welcome! Welcome, new galaxy!
Weird. Apparently something's supposed to be different, but everything's the same. Wait, Mario Galaxy 2 doesn't exist anymore. Rats.
Completing Mario Galaxy has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I may never do it again. However, I don't regret it. Experiencing this for the first time, especially with the second to compare it to, has been wonderful. Even though it's not as revolutionary as Mario 64 or as fun as Sunshine, Galaxy pushes the boundary of what a Mario game could be in both story and scope. In a better choice of words, the only way I can describe Mario Galaxy is epic in every way. It surprised me more times than I can count, and those low points never last longer than a few minutes. Although it's not my favorite and was a game I never experienced as a kid, Super Mario Galaxy is one of the best games on the Wii, if not one of the best Nintendo's ever made, and wears that title like a badge of honor. So after experiencing quite the space odyssey, I decided to give up on my true calling, which turned out to just be my alarm clock. Mostly because my telescope broke due to some unknown reasons, and NASA won't return my calls. So, I decided to become a time traveler. See ya in the 90s.
Here we go!
Alright, here we are? Wait, why does everything look the same? How do I even know if I'm in the 90s?
We will not compromise. We will live the game through our hands. We will be in control of something. We will change the system.
Yep, I'm in the 90s, and at the perfect time as well, because Mario 64 was just released. And that's why I went back in time, so I could have a more authentic experience with the game. And for why does this room look the same? Well, you see, it exists between space and time, so I don't break the fabric of reality, because I brought 2 whole Mario games that just do not exist yet. Also some stuff about quantum physics, and this is taking longer than I thought it would. Let's just talk about Mario 64. Starting from the beginning, the mid-90s. Sprites are out and polygons are in. 3D gaming was on the horizon, and Nintendo couldn't just stand there and do nothing. Except they did, for an entire year. So on that fateful day of September 29th, 1996, Nintendo launched their first 3D console, the Nintendo 64. In North America, Japan got it a few months earlier, and Europe just couldn't stop laughing for 5 months straight. Launching with a mind-bending total of 2 whole games, the Nintendo 64 had to make a name for itself compared to the already year-old PlayStation and Sega Saturn. And while one of those games was Pilot Wings 64, the other was...
It's me, Mario!
that. Mario 64 is one of those timeless classics, but because this game came out in 1996, I am legally obligated to state the following. This game is old, almost 25 years to be exact, and it has aged. I am so sorry. It's definitely rough around the edges for being the premier 3D platformer of its time. And that 3D, that Z-axis, made Mario 64 the talk of the town. It pretty much laid down the groundwork for all 3D collectathons to follow, some even surpassing it, and others, well, at least they tried. Mario wasn't just this anymore, he was the gaming industry king once again in all of his old 3D polygonal glory. Now it's time to play the revolutionary title that not only helped sell the N64, but revolutionized 3D gaming as a whole. Although the jump to 3D brought more than just the third dimension.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle.
They can talk now. It's still weird to hear voice acting in Mario games, even today. Before, Mario was just a blank slate above blank slates. Here, he has a voice, hair, and eyes that are way too close together. And yeah, now we are used to the
Oh, it's me, Mario. Ah, ravioli.
But back then, this must have been nuts to hear. After that, we follow Lakitu, who holds up the camera giving us an in-game explanation to why the camera angles in Mario 64 are garbage. You sure you got the right prescriptions there, bud? Then Mario jumps out of the pipe, and this is the future. Peach's castle is right there and has been taken over by Bowser. Your mission? Collect enough power stars to unlock the highest point of the tower and beat up Bowser and save Peach. It's pretty basic. But the real meat is in the gameplay. Now during development, Miyamoto found that precise jumps just weren't possible in the 3D space, especially when it was new. So Mario 64 focuses on the greatest strength of a 3D platformer: movement. Right out of the gate, we're given so much. Walking, running, jumping, double jump, triple jump, a punch, a kick, and a 1-2-3 knockout, long jumps for clearing large gaps, backflips to show off, a midair kick and a midair dive, side jump, ground pound, slide kick, sweep kick, and most importantly, the wall jumps. Or wall kicks. That'll work. Some of these moves will even be brought into the 2D games, like the wall jump and ground pound, two fantastic additions to Mario's moveset. But all these options wouldn't matter if the levels weren't designed around movement, and thankfully, most are. Bob-omb Battlefield, Womp's Fortress, Cool Cool Mountain, Jolly Roger Bay, Big Boo's Haunt, Lethal Lava Land, Hazy Maze Cave, Shifting Sand Land, Dire Dire Docks, Tall Tall Mountain, Snowman's Land, Tiny Huge Mountain, Wet Dry World, and Tick Tock Clock. Even if some levels weren't as open as others, they would still complement Mario's movement with decent platforming challenges. The most iconic out of all of these is easily Bob-omb Battlefield. Just a wide open area you can explore without the fear of any cheap deaths. It also has the most memorable track in the game and lets the player just mess around. Look, if the game was just this level, it would still be considered a masterpiece. But a good late game example is Tick Tock Clock, my personal favorite, which has you traversing from the bottom to the top of a clock. The room for error is forgiving, as you're more likely to land on a platform that's below you instead of to your death. It's easily my favorite level at the end of the game. Each level also has a wealthy amount of challenges, some repeated throughout the entire game like the 8 red coins quest, but it never felt like padding because it complemented the core gameplay so well. Wait, I feel like I forgot about one. Oh yeah, Rainbow Ride!
Out.
Rainbow Ride is my least favorite level in the game. Remember, Mario 64 is about movement, and one way a 3D platformer cannot be fun is if you're doing nothing. And 50% of your time spent here is just standing, waiting around on the slowest carpet ride ever until you make a single mistake and you fall to your death, because this stage is nothing other than a suicide pit. With that one exception, all of the levels in Mario 64 stand the test of time, mostly because they were designed with the core gameplay in mind and are filled to the brim with secrets and new areas to explore. I could not believe that Volcano and Lethal Lava Land was successful. That blew my mind. Same with the Pyramid and Shifting Sand Land. Felt like it was straight out of Zelda, and the iRock boss was decent enough to fight. Tiny Huge Island utilizes its gimmick to the largest potential. The world, the enemies, and challenges are a whole lot different when you're only the size of a nickel. Bowser himself also got some good levels. They hit the right amount of challenging for me, though the boss fights aren't that hard. Just grab him by the tail and bye-bye. However, we talked about the gameplay, we talked about the levels. Now it's time for the power-ups. Power-ups were a tradition in the 2D games, but they took a different route in 64. I introduced to you the cap power-ups: flying, metal, and vanish caps. The first one you'll encounter is most likely the flying cap, the most iconic item from Mario 64. I'm not a big fan of this one, I just never got used to it. Like, it's fun, but I never feel as free as I would prefer to be when I'm in the air. Like, I'm always going down, so like, how is this flying?
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
Next up is the Vanish Cap, which allows Mario to walk through objects. It's a cool idea that's just not utilized as much or as uniquely as I would have wanted it to. Finally, the Metal Cap, the best one. Not only does it turn Mario metal, makes him invincible to fire and sink like a brick, it also has the best music. Speaking of which, the music, it's pretty good. Standouts are the slide theme, an absolute classic, Jolly Roger Bay with its melodic ambience just pulling me back into the water. Mario, no! The Bowser levels I think are pretty neat, and I can't forget about Womp's Fortress, which is the same as Bob-omb Battlefield, and Tall Mountain, and Tiny Huge Island. Will this be an issue? Yeah, all the levels share music with at least one other, and I'm split on this. On one hand, it doesn't affect me too much. On the other hand, it's Rainbow Ride having the slide theme. Why? Other than that, Mario 64's music is still good regardless of how many tracks it has. Of course, the goal is to get at least 70 Power Stars, but like the overachiever I am, I'm going for 120. With 15 levels to go through containing 7 Power Stars each, yes, 7, if you collect 100 coins in the level, you get a Power Star. And get this, you can stay inside the level instead of being booted back to the castle. Kinda wish they kept that idea throughout the whole game. At least the missions in each level are different enough. One has you returning a lost penguin to its mother. Oh, my bad, I mean, Mario, what are you doing? Mario, no, no, Mario! In Tall Mountain, a monkey steals your hat. Just gotta catch him and... Yeesh, Mario, calm down. I get you that cake, okay? A few bosses are sprinkled throughout, like the Womp King and... Okay. Why am I the enemy here? Like, half the NPCs are just people getting stomped over, choked, or beaten up by Mario. Was that piranha plant having a nice dream? Well, too bad I need coins. But altogether, that equals only 105 Power Stars. Where are the other 15? They're in the castle. Okay. There, 119 Power Stars collected. That did require me to go through Rainbow Ride 6 more times than I would like to, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. Now off to the final level where 8 more of those stupid red coins contain the final star. And you thought you could trick me, Nintendo. I can see right through your plans. Finally, all 120 Power Stars, my life is complete. Time to face off against Bowser for the last time, and since the other fights weren't too hard, this shouldn't be a problem. There were some problems, but with the power of lives, I was able to dethrone the Koopa King and... Wait, how did you not know how many Power Stars were there? This entire operation was your idea. Never mind. Mario heroically flies away, and Princess Peach is saved somehow and kisses Mario on the nose and decides to bake him a cake. A cake? After all that? Just a cake? And I don't even get credited for helping. Thank you, Mario. At least you didn't forget. Darn it, he was looking at Lakitu. Whatever, the credits roll with music playing in the background and showcasing all the areas in the game you visited, ending with,
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Oh, you're welcome. Now what do I get for collecting all 120 Power Stars? Well, if you head back to the castle courtyard, a cannon will appear, and if you shoot up to the castle, you'll find Yoshi. And what were you doing up here while I was busting my blue overall butt saving Peach? Taking in the sun rays and oh my. Sure, the 100 1-up present is pretty superfluous now that I've finished the game, but it's tied to a secret character, so I can't be too mad. It was worth it. 100%. So that was Mario 64. Definitely held up better than I expected, even though it's rough, like really rough. I still had a great time. All of that boiled down to the core part of the game. I said it before and I'll say it again. Movement. Because of how this game controls and the world it explores is the reason why this game is so revered, even today. Too bad that the 3D All-Stars release was the Shindu version, which not only took out the backwards long jump, but also... you will be missed. But I'll never give up. That's why I went back to the past, when the Shindu version never existed. I'll be able to do all the backwards long jumps I want, and not even Father Time will be able to stop me. Ha Almost, and there! Haha, easy peasy. And wait, no! Whoops. No! What am I gonna do? The only way to stop a vortex caused by a backwards long jump is with an equally good or better game. Why do I know this? But what game? I'm now my copy of Banjo-Kazooie. For the greater good.
Hey, Portal, how about Baron Bird combo?
Oh dear. Darn it! Meddling with space, time, and the power of the backwards long jump really does something to a man. I mean, I'm fine, but I lost my copy of Banjo-Kazooie! I almost lost my GameCube! I can't take this kind of stress anymore! Oh, I need a vacation. Oh, sorry, and if you'll excuse me, I'm about to take my much-needed vacation away from intergalactic travel and messing with time and space as we know it. Yeah, nothing is gonna stop me from having the time of my life. Oh, and it looks like that's the airport calling right now to confirm my flight. Yeah? Wait, what do you mean Delfino is a real place? That's impossible. I saw the ad on the TV and every thing. No. Yeah, I probably should have seen this coming. You see, I was a 2000 boy, flaws and all. That meant for most of my life, I grew up with The Cube and Gimmick Fest 2006, but mainly the GameCube. Things were simpler back then. Wind Waker was apparently the worst Zelda game, Mario Kart Double Dash was the king of multiplayer, Sonic was my favorite, and Mario had a water jetpack super soaker. Yeah, Sunshine was definitely a game that was rough around the edges, and I mean rough, like really rough, like get the sand already, we got some watermelon smooth. But it was also the GameCube game that eluded me the most. It was the mystery game of my childhood, the one I didn't own, but associated with one word every time I got to play it. Fun. Even watching my older brother play was enthralling as I was completely absorbed into this world in front of me. So you better believe when I saw Sunshine for $50, case and manual included, that I bought it quicker than Bowser could kidnap Peach. Finally, it was in my grasp to play after all these years of being Sunshine-less. And it took me 2 years to beat it. I've always wanted to talk about this game, and now I finally have the chance without having to squint my eyes to see it. And I know what you're thinking. Just emulate it. Well... yeah. Sure. So, the 3D All-Stars version it is. Widescreen, upscaled, and original pre-rendered cutscenes. Let the tropical vacation begin.
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo!
This vacation will bring us to the tropical Isle Delfino. It's an island shaped like a dolphin. That's adorable. Filled with fruits, beaches, questionable intelligence, and foreshadowing. Everything is fine and dandy until... an art project gone wrong has enveloped a part of the airport, and it's up to Mario to fix it because let's face it, these toads are the most useless things in the Mushroom Kingdom. Just gotta take a look around the airport and...
Power up complete.
The entire gameplay hinges on one mechanic. Water. Anything you do in this game will involve water. Platforming, water. Defeating enemies, water. Cleaning up an island's worth of pollution with nothing but water. Mario will have to do all this with the most gimped version of a Nerf Super Soaker strapped onto his back. Flood, the flash liquidizer ultra dowsing device. A water gun. Oh. Developed by Professor Egad, remember that fact. Flood is your companion that will assist you throughout the game. Most of the time. And since the game is so hyper-focused around the mechanic of spraying and using water for movement, the crunchy, crisp platforming challenges have all since evaporated as Flood acts as a literal crutch to the gameplay. Made a wrong jump because you're a complete stupid idiot? No problem, jetpack. This game is going to make it or break it depending on how much you like using Flood and the general movement of the game. Fortunately, I love using Flood in this game. While the regular nozzle is fine as you spray your surroundings, the hover nozzle is absolutely genius by letting Mario gain height or distance when using it, because with the right skill, you can pull off some crazy stuff with the hover nozzle. Not to mention the unlockable rocket and turbo nozzle. One sends you sky high and the other gives Sonic a run for his money. These are great. But since Flood is the main focus of the game, the levels themselves were definitely more designed with that in mind. But I have a different problem to deal with now. So after acquiring Flood, the airport's problem is solved by simply spraying it, the day is saved, yada yada.
Court is now in session.
Mario gets arrested. I'm sure there's a speedrunning category for this. And instead of a bailout from the richest person in the Mushroom Kingdom, who is also your attorney and will even mention a strange looking figure in the commercial or at the airport, instead,
I judge the defendant guilty as charged. I hereby order the defendant to clean this entire island. Until Isle Delfino is completely free of his vile handiwork, Mario shall not be allowed to leave. Court adjourned.
That's just great. Mario is sent to prison.
What?
Okay, so how did we get here, you may ask? So to summarize, the star from the airport is called a Shine Sprite, and Shine Sprites plus Shine Gate, the giant tower in the middle of Delfino Isle, equals light. But since some imposter dressed up as Mario smothered the tower and Isle Delfino with goop, the light has all but faded from this tropical paradise. Mario is then falsely convicted by the idiot populace that mistake him for his doppelganger, and we're back to where we started. In prison. Whatever, let's talk about something positive. Delfino Plaza. The hub world to end all hub worlds. While Peach's castle was definitely filled with secrets, it was also, for lack of a better term, empty. And the Comet Observatory was a little too small for my liking. But Delfino Plaza is everything I could have asked for because it feels alive. Located just in front of an active volcano, if pollution won't get rid of these things raining in the streets, then if luck may have it, a volcanic eruption will. Infested with PIANTAs from left to right, selling fruits, managing boats, getting stuck on an island just off the coast, knowing you can't swim for 3 years, just to get off and wish you were back on the island. Okay. It feels like a place that's lived in, and mixed with the game's controls, becomes a concrete jungle to mess around in. It's just too bad everybody here hates you. Unfortunately, since Mario was arrested for a crime he never did, he has to clean an entire island's worth of pollution because these coconut trees with papaya noses can't tell the difference between a fully fleshed human being and a man who looks like he jumped out of the city's local sewer pipes. Even though you fight him here multiple times, they keep on blaming you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the laziest species Nintendo's ever created. The PIANTAs are a very questionable species, but what they lack in intelligence they sure make up for in stupidity. But I digress, action speaks louder than words, so let's defeat another one of those sludge monsters and restore the town statue back to normal. Oh my goodness, he's right there. He even tries to kidnap Princess Peach. Why am I not released of all charges? Never mind. Now we have to chase this Shadow Mario into a painting, and we're brought to the first world. Now, Sunshine does have fewer levels than Mario 64, however, they are much larger with increased scale and fidelity, like Noki Bay and Peanut Park for example. All the levels are literal sandboxes for you to run around in. Divided into 8 episodes, each level follows a narrative of some sort. For example, Noki Bay. The water is polluted and your first thought is that it's because of this gopher and this disgusting machinery. Be gone! But that doesn't fix the problem. In episode 2, Mario fights a squid, and that doesn't work either. So in episode 3, Mario takes diving lessons so he can give an eel a dentist appointment in Atlantis. And afterwards, if you go down here again, you'll see all the Nokis you helped, relaxing around in the ocean depths. Your actions have consequences that actually influence the world around you in a positive way. It's this kind of progression that makes the world feel alive, and it's present in every level. Bianco Hills, you restore the bridge leading to the giant windmill, then face off against PD Piranha at said windmill, who made his first appearance in this game. Later on, you'll just find him chilling on the other side of this gorge. My favorite level, RICCO Harbor, has a pollution problem, much like Noki Bay, however, this time it's caused by a Gooper blooper. Just send him sky high, and at episode 8, the battle arena turns into a populous plaza of pineapple sellers. Serena Beach has the sketchiest setting ever. Or the most GameCube setting ever. You have to save this hotel from electric goop caused by a ghost manta ray. And once you do that, it turns out the entire hotel is infested with ghosts because King Boo is hiding in the casino area. Which they kindly ask Mario to deal with. Yeah, sure. But PIANTA Village is the epitome of this, as you've spent the entire game helping these loafy lugs, and now you get to see where they live in their most natural habitat, as it's either flooded with lava or attacked by fire dogs. You help them out because of course you will, which culminates in the Fluff Festival at the end, which is just so nice, and leagues above the Watermelon Festival. Another cool detail is how you can see other levels from the one you're in. Just look out on the cliff at the beginning of Bianco Hills and you'll see RICCO Harbor and Peanut Park. Serena Beach is just off the coast of Gelato Beach. And in PIANTA Village, just go up to one of those giant trees and behold the view of a lifetime. This helps make Isle Delfino feel like a real place instead of a bunch of segmented levels, and that's why I think I appreciate this game so much, as not only do I like the gameplay, but the world it explores. And that gameplay, it's so good. Just moving around is so much fun. No other Mario game is as fun to control as this one for me. And the way you can approach almost all of your situations in any way you like is refreshing. Episode 3 of PIANTA Village. You have to get to the mayor to retrieve your water jetpack while the floor is lava. There are so many routes you can take. It's entirely up to you and your skill at the game, or just some out-of-the-box thinking to complete the level. Another example is episode 5 of Peanut Park, where the Ferris wheel has gone stir-crazy thanks to its electric turtle. Now what the game wants you to do is climb up the back of the building to get rid of it, but we can do what I like to call the fun way, and just climb up here, jump right through the Ferris wheel, and bada bing bada boom, we're done with this level. However, there is an exception to this entire game's mechanics, being the floodless levels when Shadow Mario steals Flood. And you'll have to complete a basic 3D Mario level, and they're fine at best, and this level at worst. And the music. Oh my, slap that thing on your summer playlist right now, you won't regret it. While sticking to one consistent theme of summer does mean it has less variety than other Mario games, I don't even care, it's so good. Koji Kondo, you've done it again. So the levels are fantastic, the gameplay is fun, and the music is great. What could possibly go wrong? Right. It's no secret that even compared to Mario 64, Sunshine's got some jank to it. From rough collision detection to broken boat physics, Sunshine's got it all. Falling through a completely normal platform? Only in Mario Sunshine. Well, at least Sunshine is the only Mario game where Princess Peach does not get kidnapped, never mind. Not until 10 shines are collected does Princess Peach finally get kidnapped. A new record! Mario then chases the perpetrator to Peanut Park, where Shadow Mario's identity is finally revealed.
Bowser Jr.
And he thinks that Peach is his mother. I'm no Dr. Mario, but I'm pretty sure that is preposterous. Bowser Jr. created this entire charade to blame Mario, using a magic paintbrush that was given to him by an old man in a white coat. Wait, and that logo on the brush looks very familiar, actually.
Purchasing this item from Gab Science Incorporated.
Well, with this, all my wishes come true.
Strange old man in a white coat.
Egad. I swear, someone at Nintendo was playing a big arc with Professor Egad as the villain. First, with his questionable appearance in Luigi's Mansion, literally stealing souls and turning them into paintings, and now providing both the problem and the solution to both sides while he just sits back and relaxes as the entire country goes into turmoil. They were going to do a big finale, and then Miyamoto stepped in. What you guys doing? What the heck is this? I'm not one to point fingers, but this was Bill's idea. Dude! Story? And as revenge, he personally puts in the pachinko and lily pad level. You're welcome. At least Peach is properly kidnapped this time and taken to this giant volcano. Now I have more of a reason than a bailout to do what I'm doing, and also to get back at that son of a Koopa for doing this in the first place. As tradition, I've fully completed every 3D Mario game before, and Sunshine will be no different. Except that this will be one of the most tedious games I ever had to complete. Nothing, and I mean nothing, in this game is more evident of Sunshine's rushed development cycle than the blue coins. Okay, maybe the watermelons still. But of all the convoluted, cryptic, tedious collectibles in a video game, this takes the cake. Like, they had these painted marks that Bowser Jr. left behind. You spray it, you get a blue coin. Or you had to race to the other side of the painting to test your skill or whatever. And it's like they just stopped designing good puzzles or puzzles at all right there. There are small blue butterflies that Yoshi can eat to get a blue coin, despite the game not telling you at all. Or just spray this blue bird to get a blue coin because that makes sense. Or spray this random piece of furniture in this ghost house of a hotel to get a blue coin. Like, how? Not to mention, they're also episode exclusive. You could waste an entire half an hour scouring through a level just to find out you were one episode off. I don't care if the internet is or was a thing back then where you could just look up the location. That shouldn't be a scapegoat. That shouldn't be a scapegoat for bad design. And if you thought that only extended to the blue coins, Noki Bay, to get a shine you have to spray this golden bird. Why is it always the birds? Hidden shine marks on random spots of the beach. Grab 100 coins in the level, but since the layout and enemies change depending on which episode you're on, it's a gamble in itself if a single level has enough coins to grab, and you don't even get to stay in the level after getting that shine. How are we evolving backwards? Stare at the sun and spray it. Why? Even the floodless levels have an extra shine requiring you to play through them again. At least you have flood this time. But the special stages in Delfino Plaza are agony incarnated. This lily pad level makes me wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. Lily pads! It doesn't help that getting to the lily pad level is a migraine in itself, so I resort to using a glitch to make Yoshi breathe underwater. One of the few times I'm actually glad this game is broken. And then we get to Pachinko, a gamble for your life as you try to maneuver Mario in the air with all the grace of a swan with 2 broken wings and a water bottle taped to its back. I could go on. The legendary Sandbird, roller coaster balloons, manta rays, watermelons. Oh, and I can't forget about the shine sprites in Delfino Plaza that make up 1/3 of the total shine count. Sometimes just sitting in plain sight or held by a resident PIANTA themselves. What do you even need Mario for at that point when all of your grubby, disgusting, slimy fingers are holding most of the shine sprites already? Oh yeah, because all you are too lazy to do the work yourself. So you just shift the blame and hope it works, and it did work. Why did I do all this? For what? A postcard?
Yes.
You know what? Forget it. I'm done. I got all the blue coins, traded into that stupid Tanuki. Now I have 120 shines. Finally. Now I can actually play the game. By the end of it, the entirety of Delfino Plaza has been flooded, and the only level left is Corona Mountain. The only level you can see from every part of the game. This is hell. Like literally, fiery pits and everything. It's everything bad about this game wrapped into one gauntlet of a level. Broken physics, yes. The unfair death trap that is lava, also yes. Hitboxes?
I think I hate this game.
Not to mention 8, yes, 8, count them, blue coins are located here over a fiery pit of death. Just under my suffering already. Oh yeah, I already did. All to climb to the top of the volcano to catch Bowser bathing.
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Yeah, this final fight is less against Bowser and more against the game's collision detection. Just rocket ground pound all 5 sides and... With Bowser and Bowser Jr. defeated, all 120 shines returned, and a pollution crisis averted by flooding the entire town, finally, our vacation can begin!
Oh.
Mario, was I assist?
No. No! No! No!
The vacation starts now.
Well, that was a cheap shot at emotions, but I did it. Mario Sunshine has been 100% completed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am never doing this again.
Mario Sunshine is like all vacations. You go in expecting a nice, relaxing time, and just a bunch of garbage out of your control comes to ruin it.
Comparing it to any other first-party Nintendo games at the time, and for a company that prides itself on making quality games, Sunshine just falls below the bar of quality of Nintendo games in general. You can't convince me otherwise. This game was not rushed, or at least a part of it wasn't. From the inflated blue coin count to redoing levels for shines and the numerous amounts of bugs and glitches that exceed even Mario 64 in terms of brokenness, Mario Sunshine comes out as a half-baked mess of a game. And even with all that, I can't help but love it.
You thought I hate this game? Yeah, right.
What can I say? I love games that are broken messes. There is still so much I love that easily outweighs the cons. The movement is fantastic, and gimmicks such as Flood has yet to be matched in my eyes. The music remains one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time, and the levels are fantastic to just relax or run around in. And the PIANTAs, for the garbage lazy pieces of trees that they are, I care about them. They feel real. In fact, Isle Delfino as a whole feels real. No other Mario game before or after has created a cohesive world the way Sunshine did. Despite the fact that Odyssey has you literally traveling around the world, it never felt as real as this game did. Like I said, Mario Sunshine is a steaming hot watermelon festival mess of a game, but at its core, for at least what it does right, Mario Sunshine remains as my favorite 3D Mario game of all time because at the end of the day, it was a nice relaxing vacation from the 3D Mario formula, and to me, it was all the better for it.
Well, despite not getting the vacation I wanted, I still had a great time. And hey, I finally completed all the 3D Mario games that exist, so at least I accomplished something in the past few months. But considering how long this took, I think it's just better if I got back to making stuff, well, consistently, so that's a wrap on the 3D Mario game, at least for now.